I'm sweating through my shirt. Like you're basically body checking people, and you're like trying not to slip and fall. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is actually sick training.
What's up, everybody? Talking Trash. We are back at it again, and we are joined by Mr. DH himself out in Denver, Colorado. Big shout out, Ames, to your guys over at Side 3 Studios, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you obviously, we started the pod. We were together, and we've gotten lucky. We've met so many great people which you've been away, in Side 3, man. They are top of the line. So if you guys are in the Denver area, definitely hit up Side 3 Studios. How's it going, big guy?
It's good, yeah. Made the trip back down from Vancouver. Took like 4 days. Went and seen Old Faithful in Yellowstone. It was a good drive down. So now, just continuing the work and getting ready for camp and getting ready for the season. So I'm happy to be back in the mountains. It's got the altitude helping me out a little bit. And then it'll be off to KC here in a couple weeks.
I got to shout out the SoFlo jersey, okay?
Yes.
Last week, okay, which we'll talk about in a second, I wore my SoFlo jersey they sent me, but you got the custom Amesbury yellow. That is so fire. Big shout out to our SoFlo guys. I know we were trying to get you down there this summer. It didn't work out, but definitely next year. We got to get down to Florida next year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was planning on getting down there, and then obviously, when I got back to Vancouver, I ended up training at the training house there in Vernon. Shout out to all those guys. Great group of guys, great coaches, and so things were just going really good there, and I just didn't want to break the flow that I was in. It was really good camp up there, and so just kind of in the middle of work, didn't make it down, but hopefully next year, definitely I'll have to plan a little bit better next time, but definitely going to try and make it down there next year.
Dude, man, no matter what, you could be the most organized person in the world. It's so hard, especially as a professional athlete, to plan too much because things come up, the whole signing with KC came up in 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like anything could happen. So, but the KC signing pretty much happened. Like, I don't know have I talked about it on here and how it happened? Like how I called think,
Kuzi?
But I think we did, but
yeah.
No, Kuzi got pissed you didn't shout him out on this or something.
So I essentially called Kuzi. Just we were kind of I remember we were kind of chirping Kuzi on the podcast the one day when I was in Kelowna, and then so on the drive home I just called Kuzi to see how he's doing and just tell him, hey, just so you know, next episode I was kind of razzing you a little bit, and he said he was doing some hockey camps, and I was like, oh, who are you doing camps with? And he goes, oh, assistant coach Riley from the Kansas City Mavericks. And I was like, oh, joking, tell him to sign me. Next thing he's, well, you haven't answered his calls all summer. They've been trying to get a hold of you. I'm like, what? They had my wrong number. So,
oh my God.
And it happened that quick. I think by the end of the day, I had paperwork signed. So it happened quick.
It's crazy. You're right, because I remember leaving the podcast we recorded, and we were busting on Kuzi, called him 90 Day Fiance or something.
Yeah.
And I remember you called me like an hour after we recorded. You're like, you're never gonna believe this. So man, it's just. But man, we are on. And we usually start with this, but we're on episode 33, man. Okay.
Marty McSorley,
Marty McSorley, man. I tell you, I would love to get the old school LA Kings Marty McSorley jersey.
Yes.
The Kings are bringing that jersey back.
I want the helmet. I want the helmet.
So sick, man.
Can I wear one of those helmets in the coast this year?
Why not, man?
I don't know how it would look with a visor on it. But.
What is it, Jofa or Jaffa? I never knew. Jofa.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, listen, last week, guys, if you missed it, I know you unfortunately couldn't hop on. You were training, but we had the most hated goalie in hockey, Mr. Travis Rigden. Rigden? I think it's Rigden. I was calling him Rigden. But, man, if you guys missed that episode, go back into the library, check it out. Episode's doing really well, man. I tell you, he is a firecracker, bro. I mean, he is. I can't help it. I love Trav. I cannot listen. Everyone hates Trav. I don't know why. We talked about.
He doesn't get one good comment when you look at his comments. It's just people just ripping on him. Bro, but they're still watching his stuff,
dude. They're
still checking in. They're still watching his stuff.
He is a trasher because he is the ultimate heel. People hate Trav. Sure. I thought legitimately You know, again, we're having fun. We're trying to get people interested. You know, most hated goalie, yeah. But if you really watch the episode, he said a lot of great things, and I really genuinely like the guy. I mean, but he's a character, and just people, he's just got to roll with it because people hate Trav, and I can't help it, bro. I love the man. I can't help it. I love him. And big shout out to Trav. I mean, he traveled out here, and it was really great to finally meet him. Definitely.
So I heard the audio is doing a lot better than the video.
Yeah, it's crazy because
he calls himself so good looking, but it seems like nobody wants to look at him because the audio is doing way better.
Oh man, you're right, man. He was very proud of his haircut. He showed me he had a nice little fade going, and yeah, man, he's listen, you gotta. I love a guy just like you. You know, he walks the walk. He is who he is. He doesn't care. He speaks his mind. He owns it. I can't help it. I've always been drawn to guys like that. But, man, he is I mean, listen, man. I mean, people chirp you. They chirp me. You know, we get our – but
anyone that puts themselves online is going to feel the wrath.
But more but he's on a whole nother trajectory.
Yeah,
I mean, even the clips we posted out, you know, after you know, I was trying to help him. I thought people were going to be like, yeah, you know, this Trav, he's a good guy, you know, because I was digging it out of him, you know, like, hey, you know, and I thought he's a great guy. We spent time in the gym. Dude, this guy's he's a good salesman, man. You know, he got me to have my first ever pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks.
I heard that, and it's funny you say he's a good salesman because like he was joking around about Billy and how he dresses up like a used car salesman. I'm like, but he is a used car. He is a used car salesman. We should get him in the Billy hat and get him dressed up like that because I honestly think he could sell like whatever. Cars would be good for him. Car sales, I think.
Bro, you know what it is? He's a lot bigger than people know. He's got like a
he's tall, yeah.
He's got a presence to him. He's got a good voice. He likes his voice. He's definitely got that he's got a media voice to him. And man, he's like, "Hey, you want a pumpkin spice latte?" And I'm like, I'm not drinking a pumpkin spice latte, you know, but he's the guest. I took him to Starbucks, you know, and before we came to the studio, and he's like, "No, I'm going to get you one. I'm going to get you one. I got some points on my app." He had a whole thing going.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, fine, whatever. And then I sat down. I was like, I'm not going to drink this. He said, "Come on, drink it for me, please." I came all the way out from Winnipeg. I'm like, I had a sip. At first, I didn't like it, but I had another sip, and I'm like, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Good, yeah. And I told him, I'm like, listen, nothing says the bad boys of hockey like a pumpkin spice latte, right?
Big time.
But big shout out to Trav, man. I can't help it. I like him. I'm always gonna push the guys that I like and we like, and he's definitely
he fits the heel brand.
And listen, man. You never know. I would love to see him back in the Federal League one day, or who knows? I mean, he has his theories why he's not, but you know what? He's going to Spain, and I hope he does well, man. I genuinely, jokes aside, genuinely like him, and I know he did an interview with you out when you were out in Canada, and you guys should go check out Trav's interview with Diamond Hands. So. Yeah, it was great to meet him, man. We're gonna have to have him back with you in studio. It would be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Totally.
So
good stuff. So so there's some big news in the city of Danbury. Wow. Well, I know it was cooking for a bit in the background, and you know, I could tell you were feeling a little emotional about it. You were calling me and texting me, but it's out now. And how you feeling?
Well, listen. This is somehow your fault. This is happening, okay? And you are really the root of why this is happening. But yes, you know, we're recording, obviously. A few days ago, we had a press conference. I am now officially the senior advisor of the Danbury Hat. And, man, I don't know where to even start with this, man. Again, a lot of it is your fault, and I'm going to explain why it is your fault. But, I mean, dude, you've taught me so much the few years we've known each other. You're a brother, and you've always told me, man, you know, things are in the atmosphere. It's going to happen. Stars are aligned. And, you know, again, this Trasher documentary comes out. I mean, we've talked about this at nauseum, man. You know, you know, after the 2 years of the Trashers, we lose the team. A lot of things happen. I hate hockey. Want nothing to do with hockey. I hate the Trashers. Nothing. Yeah. Netflix comes calling. Whatever, we'll do the stupid documentary. We do it. It comes out. It does well. And that was kind of the start, right? All of a sudden, it was like, after over a decade and a half at the time, it comes out. The reviews are good. People are loving it. Man, I'm like, man, this is awesome, man. So Herm's always, Herm Sorcher, one of the managing partners of the Hat Tricks and the arena there, always trying to get me to go to Hat Trick games. I just didn't want to be around it. Yeah. I start coming around now. He likes to pump me up like I'm the biggest movie star in the world, which I'm not.
Yeah, he always makes the big announcement.
We got a movie star in the. We got and I'm like, Herm, please.
Netflix star AJ Galante.
But it's I'm starting to go to the games again. I'm like, man, I kind of like it. It's fun. I miss this. Keep coming back. We start the King of the Ring tournament. I meet Mr. Diamond Hands, and it's like Then it was like that summer after you ran the table at the King of the Ring tournament. I remember they came to me like, man, we need a fighter. We need a tough guy. We need a spark plug. And I'm like, listen, you need Diamond Hands. I'm like, guys, I don't care what you got to do. This is the man. This guy's a throwback. He's a trasher. I'm telling you, he will take over the city. They listened. You sacrifice your family. You sacrifice. You came. You immediately take the city of Danbury by storm. Everyone loves Diamond Hands. To this day, everyone's asking about Diamond Hands here. You win a championship. And then I don't know, man. It's just like we start the podcast. I'm heavily invested in your career. I'm watching you come back after all this time. You're playing in one of the highest hockey leagues, and I'm just like inspired by this. And then we start doing stupid little content, junior trasher teams, and I'm like, man, I really miss this. I miss this, and I'm fighting it. Yeah. No, I don't. I hate it still, but I'll do this for the content, right? The content. We're in the content world.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, I miss this. And but whatever, it is what it is. I don't own the ice arena. I don't own the Hat Tricks. We got the gym, we got all our things going on. The Trasher brand, we're doing different stuff. I'm satisfied just living vicariously through you, helping you in any capacity I can. And yeah, man. And then, dude, I got to say, a few things happened over the past few months that, clicked. And I didn't realize it until like a few days ago. The first thing was Club 93, right? Club 93, who's been a sponsor, a friend of ours, a partner of ours for the podcast since day one. Last November we started, right? Ken and the boys, Jim, everybody. I know I'm missing names, but the whole Club 93, their whole mission is, they're older gentlemen that want to play till they're 93 years old, follow your dreams, don't quit. Fell in love with you. They just love you so much. You've done photo shoots with them. So last year I promised them I'll get back on the ice with you guys, right? And thankfully you were in town, because I don't know if I would have had the guts to do it without you there. But
they made sure I was up there. They brought me up,
what I love about Ken and what I love about those guys is they hold you responsible. They're like, no, you promised us. You're coming on the ice with us, right? I'm like, yes, damn it. I shook your hand. So we go on the ice, and I remember having to buy equipment. I'm out with you. I forget how to put some of this shit on. I'm asking you, do you put the leg guards on first or the pants? I'm losing. But dude, I got on the ice, and something happened, man, because it was the first time I had been on the ice since 2003 when I got hurt. And I don't know, man, the connection with that arena, just something happened. Not to sound corny, but it happened. And, being out there with you, and I was just like, man, this is awesome, man. And so that's something that happened. Then the next thing that happened was you, again, signing with Kansas City. They went to the finals last year, big-time organization, class organization. And I'm like, man, Ames is so inspiring because he does it all. And you just have so much faith, and you work so hard. And I'm just so proud of you, man. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, this guy was off for so long, and he comes back, and you're playing at the highest level, basically, And then the third thing that happened to me more recently was our boy, the bozo, Jeff Kozo from Section 102, hit me up about that Summerfest tournament back in August. Hey, can we do a junior trasher tournament team? Of course, you know me with the kids, anything you need. We get jerseys, the whole 9 yards. But for some reason, there was something about it, being there with them. And the team ended up winning it. We by the way, go on our page, guys, on YouTube. We have a vlog following, winning Summerfest. And something happened just seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, being in the arena, just, I don't know. It was weird. Then San Gennaro comes, right? And I'm not thinking about hockey. I'm not thinking about anything. Have a great festival. And basically, man, how this whole thing came about was Billy McCreary, who's been, the coach, general manager of the Hat Trick since its inception, I believe, got a big-time job in Kalamazoo. I'm sure you'll be seeing him out there on the bench. Shout out to Billy, gets a big-time job, Kalamazoo, the East Coast League. He's on his way up. And, there's a void now, right? So now it's late, the season's close, and the first thing I thought about, I got other things to think about. I was like, oh man, I'm like, they're going to be scrambling a little bit. It's close to the season. And, our boy, Mr. Herman Sorcher, hit me up and had me come to the arena and was feeling me out. Herm. Herm is the best, man. Herm is such a funny guy because you talk about salesmen. He's giving me the whole sales speech. You know what I mean? And basically, he was gauging my interest if I wanted to come back in a capacity with the team. And I said, listen, I said, timing's everything. I feel like, maybe, but I don't know what you want me to do. And he explained to me that, Captain Johnny Ruiz and Kyle Gonzalez are going to be player coaches. And Matt Voidy, the goaltending coach, is going to be a bench coach / GM. So I figured, well, there's not really a place for me. You got everything you need, really. And he said, no, we want you to come in as an advisor. And, I thought about it, and right away I was kind of interested. My, me, man, we're the same. My brain starts going.
We've talked about this. I don't know how many times. You've mentioned like I want to get back in the game, but you don't. But you do, but you don't.
I know.
I don't know how many times we sat in your office at the boxing gym there. And we've talked about tons of different options as far as like, oh, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. And I remember you'd always say, man, I have an itch. I got an itch. I remember I've heard you say that so many times. I got an itch. But then you were also worried about, like the Trashers was such a big thing. You're like, I don't know if I can do it again, this and that.
Well,
and
listen,
the opportunity kind of just landed in your lap.
What Herm is smart because he played on my heartstrings. He said, AJ, I don't know if I ever told you this, but that championship team from 2 seasons ago, Ames was the heart and soul of this team, and you helped us get them. And, we know you still got the eye for talent and this and that. And I'm like, oh, man, he's really pouring it on thick now, right? You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't know, man, just something. And you're right. It's kind of like maybe you went through it as an athlete. When you're off for so long, you come back and you're like, do I still got it? Can I still do it? You always tell me, and how many times have I said, like, you got to go with the ideas that scare you the most, and I was nervous, I was really interested, but I left. I said, let me think about it, Herm, and, he called me and wanted to know what I was thinking, and I was like, look, let me sit down with Johnny and, Johnny Ruiz, Kyle Gonzalez, and Matt Voidy. I said, they've been here for a while. You know what it is with me, Ames, and you know me by now, and you're the same way. I don't want to look like this is about me. This isn't about me. I don't want to come in. I don't want it to seem like, because the first thing all the Trashers are coming back. It's not. It's it's the Hat Tricks, and I don't know, man. The whole thing has been so strange, and for like 2 weeks I was really, bro. I know people think I'm joking, but up until like 12 hours before the press conference where we announced me and the coaching staff, dude, I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know. I don't know, and I just finally said, man, I thought about you, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean? And because, my father had the vision. And again, 20 years. The Trashers are 20 years old on October 15th.
Crazy.
Okay? I mean, the fact that 20 years later I'm quasi back is baffling to me. And you've always said the universe works in the craziest ways. And, man, I just I'm anxious, but and I also thought, man, you think about the podcast. You're a current player playing at a high level. Now I'm kind of active again. This is gonna be the podcast to watch, man. We're gonna have so many updates and content galore. And so the press conference comes, and I'm nervous, man. I don't get nervous talking. I don't. But I was nervous, and my son was there, my dad was there, my wife Kim, and Tina, everyone was there. My family, Liz, JP, and, it's funny. Herm's funny, man. He's like, listen, You know, and I told Herm, because I know, man, people watch the documentary, the Trashers were crazy, He was saying in so many words, you know, we can't have that in this league. Like, you know, equipment can't go missing and this and that. I'm like, nah. I'm like, Herm, it's like, I'm not going to embarrass you, man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to embarrass the league and all this. I'm coming to win. I'm coming to do our thing. I don't care what anyone else is doing, but I'm not going to, like, the times are different. I'm also 38 years old. It's different. You know, and it's funny. So before he announces me, Herm's like, you know, just make sure you don't say anything like, you know, we're going to do this. I'm like, Herm, I'm not going to embarrass you, right?
He's freaking out, yeah.
So what does Herm do?
I seen it.
Before he introduces me, right? This man is going to bring us the meanest, the toughest, the roughest hockey. And I'm just like...
Exactly what he told you not to do.
He told me not to cut a WWE promo, and then he cut a WWE promo. But I love her, man.
My question to you, the thing I was curious most, and I was going to ask you this just personally, but I'd rather ask you on here, is just how was your initial call with your dad? That's what I was wondering. Like, what was that like? What was his reaction? Were you nervous to call him and tell him about it? Did he know what was going on?
Dude, you know, the thing is, you know, I mean, you've been around so long with me now and vice versa. And you know, like, everything I do, we're a tag team.
Of course.
Anything he does, I'm involved by default and vice versa. And same thing with, you know, you. Yeah, I mean, you're the assistant senior advisor, by the way. I don't think they know that yet, but you're the senior
we don't
advisor.
Have to say that because the league will probably say I can't or something.
You're an independent contractor, okay?
There you go.
No, man, it's crazy because I waited a few days after I talked to Herm because I really didn't know where this was gonna go, and finally, you know, when I started feeling like it's swaying towards yes, I talked to him, and my dad's funny, man. He's like, do it. Why not? Do it. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. He's like, do it. Just do it. And cool. You know, like I said, man, it's, dude, I don't want to sound like this. Because I feel like I'm soft, but it was like a very, it brought back so many emotions. Like 20 years ago, things were so much different. You know what I mean? In my personal life, the things that were happening, things that were coming down the chute that we didn't know yet. And, you know, I really got to thank, you know, just, listen, the Hat-Tricks they didn't really need to bring me in. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely going to prove my worth because, you know, I got something to prove, man. But, you know, I really give shout out to Herm, Chris, the Diamonds, Johnny, Gonzo, Voidy, you know, showing faith in me because, you know, it's impossible for them to not think I'm going to come in and, you know, they've never worked with me before. So I don't know, you know, you see the documentary, it's, you know, the reality is I don't work like that. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I definitely, but, you know, after the press conference, man, it was like a weight lifted off me, and it's like, hey, it's here now. There's no going back. There's no going back, man.
Time to get to work now. The wheels are turning.
Dude, it's we are going to have so much fun, man. And
it's like a video game, right? So we said we were talking about it the other day. It's like playing a video game.
I remember doing a interview with ESPN. Their website 20 years ago, and they said, doesn't this feel like a video game for you as like a 17? I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. And sure enough, it's like, it's crazy. We announced it, and now we got every tough guy out there wanting to come to Danbury.
And it's funny because like I think the cool part about it is like with the platform that, you know, we've both been able to create, there's obviously people already knocking on your door, like people are already hitting you up. I'm an active player, so I have reach through just guys I'm training with. Like I've been talking about it with guys I've been skating with. They're like, oh, I got this guy, I got my buddy here, or maybe talk to this guy. I'm getting people's numbers. I'm like sending you guys EPs and stuff. I'm like, man, this is going to be crazy. And I think that's going to open, you know, it's going to open opportunities for the Hat-Tricks to get some players that they might not have had a chance to get before too, because
dude, it's,
you know, there's a lot more reason guys might want to come there, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for you.
And listen, people look up to you, right? They see what you accomplished. You came out of retirement. You came out of the dark, really, and you win a championship here. And, you know, it's like people see where you're at now, and they're like, man, you know, if Ames can do it, I could try to do it, you know? And but that's what it is, man. I mean, I think the most difficult thing for me personally is, you know, trying to remember realistically, it's not 20 years ago. And what I mean by that is players are built different. These younger guys are built different. The way you win is different. So, it's going to be fun, man. And like I said, listen, if you're watching, I want everybody, man. Like if you want to play, listen.
If
here's
you're
the
over 6'7", 250 pounds, and you can throw a hard right and left punch, and you can skate well. Listen. I'm telling you, the Hat-Tricks win a championship 2 seasons ago. You were very responsible for it. There was a lot of grit on that team, throwing the body. Guys felt protected with you. We need to get back to that. And this is really where I feel a responsibility, man, because it's like my dad had the vision 20 years ago. He kind of tapped me on the shoulder to kind of help. It's not just me. We created a culture, right? Yeah.
Man, I've always been in the business of creating cultures. I'm not a business guy, right? So we helped cultivate this pro hockey culture, just like we started a Scrap City, a combat sport culture, right? Now we got to build a dynasty, right? You can't build a dynasty without a culture. And now, we have the culture. The Hat-Tricks have taken the torch for the past 4 seasons, I think. I know COVID killed 1 season. They should have won it all that year. But, now I feel like we're at like a spot where we can create a dynasty. And that's what I want to create, man. I want to win. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer in, we're going to win and we got to be entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
100%.
So if you guys are watching, man, I'm dead serious. DM us, DM Amesy. Like, bro, I mean.
When I sent you that player, I'm not going to say who it is, but when I sent you that player yesterday, remember what I said to you? I said,
yes.
Not only is this kid going to score a goal a game, he'll fight, and he's an absolute character on and off the ice. Guys like that, those are guys you need.
That
and
is
they're good
what,
in the room. Those are guys that are good in the room, too.
Listen, I mean, and Ames, I feel something to prove. A lot of people see. Listen, the Trashers never won a championship. I mean, we became a famous team, I guess, for 2 seasons for a lot of different reasons, but I never won a championship. But and also I got a lot of people, the team was only good because we allegedly had an unlimited budget. Allegedly. I don't know. I never dealt with money. I don't know anything about money. But this is a different league. It's a different structure. So I want to prove that, I can build. I can do. And look, it's not just me. I mean, Matt Voidy is the GM. We're going to work hand in hand. It's going to be an interesting dynamic with all of us as an organization. I think it's a transitional year. A lot of things are changing, but I don't think we're going to miss a step. If anything, I think we're going to take 2 steps forward. We got to entertain the fans. We got to win it all. And same thing, like marketing. I told Herm, let me help out. Let's make the game day operations fun. Man, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of work. I mean, even to this day, like before I was driving here thinking, I'm like, man, can we do this? And it's gonna be fun, man. And I'm super grateful and thankful for the opportunity, and definitely gonna elevate this podcast and this show, and we're gonna have a lot of insider info and a lot of updates, and especially, most importantly, what's going on in Kansas City. I mean, can you believe we're sitting here like this now? I mean, when I met you, when you DM'd me a bunch of times to get in the King of the Rink, I mean, I was so out of the loop with so many things, started this crazy promotion. We met, and now you're in one of arguably the top East Coast Hockey League organization, and now I'm back in pro hockey. Who would have thought? And it just goes to show you just keep punches and bunches, man. You keep throwing, something's going to hit.
Consistency kills. And honestly, I mean, I think the cool part is both of our stories kind of correlated of how they went.
So much.
We had this great uprising. Everything was going really good. And then it was crash and burn. And then we both reacted the same way. It was almost like a PTSD where it was I couldn't walk into a hockey rink. I couldn't watch NHL on TV. I didn't want to go coach. I didn't want to get on the ice. I didn't touch the ice for 5 years. I mean, you didn't get on the ice for 18 years or however long it was for you. But we were both just push the game away because it kind of just the way it ended was tough. And then we kind of together at the same time. It was actually Ice Wars that kind of both pulled us back in that direction. And then next thing you know, here we are.
It's
pretty wild, yeah.
Yo, we always say yin and yang, right? I mean, we just have it's crazy to me, and I always say go with the ideas that scare you the most, and this idea scared me, and but I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it, man, and it's gonna be wild, man. And listen, this doesn't, a lot of people were a little nervous from my other end, right? Like nothing's changing in my life. Champs Boxing Club, we're on the rise still. Scrap City, all the fighters, nothing's changing. My headquarters is Champs. I'm gonna be, back and forth with the arena, but I can do everything I need at the gym. Okay, nothing is changing with the gym. Nothing's changing with my involvement with boxing and promoting and advising and all that. Nothing's changing with the pod. I said under no circumstances if I take this job, we're stopping this. I'm not doing it. Nothing's changing, man. And if anything, I think it's only going to elevate, both these worlds. These subcultures of Danbury that we've created, hockey and boxing, are going to, because now all of a sudden everyone's like, we got to go to the hat trick games now and this and that. And, getting guys down to the gym. So we've created these worlds. These subcultures.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was actually, before you started that last little rant, I was thinking about a potential collab between the hat tricks and Major League Hockey fights. How cool would that be?
Listen,
hey, we might have to make that happen.
Listen, we mentioned Major League Hockey fights a while back, and we've kind of left it alone. And
it's in the weeds.
Listen, you know how it is, man. We keep it in the weeds until it's ready to come out and display. We don't do it half-assed. So, I mean, if anything, this just elevates and accelerates so many ideas. It's insane, and it's not going to stop us, man. It's everything has to build off each other, man. I'm so excited, and man, I'm telling you, like I said, Scrap City, man. These two subcultures that we've created are now intertwined. It's insane.
We might have to pull out Zach. Isn't he a goalie?
Who's that?
Calmus.
Oh, bro. I don't think he's heard yet. I saw him the other day before
he knows that he can skate.
Oh man.
My God.
I don't think he knows my involvement now. If he hears that, you know what I mean?
Oh man.
But listen, guys, I'm serious. Funny. If you're watching this, listen. This is all an extension of the evil empire, bro. Yeah. Okay, if we want everyone part of this is going to be, the hat tricks are going to, listen, it's all about Danbury hockey. I don't care if it's a trash can, a rabbit. It doesn't matter. It's Danbury hockey. It's Danbury versus the world, man. If you guys want to be part of this movement, because listen, we're going to create a dynasty now. The culture is here. The dynasty is starting this year. And listen, the reality is just like you, Ames, the Federal Professional Hockey League, I've been very critical of them. I stand by what I say in the past, but the league has potential. But the reality is I care about the players, the boys. How do we elevate them here in Danbury? How do we get them to that next level? Because that's what it's about, just like 100%. Yourself.
Well, that's what that league is for, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to get stuck there. You're supposed to move up.
And even guys, maybe guys like yourself who've been gone for a while, right? Maybe guys want to come out and try. If you want it, man, Danbury has it, man, and we will.
Maybe we could coerce a couple guys that are coming out of retirement. That's what we need to do,
bro. Sean Avery.
Sean, you think?
Come on,
Let's
Sean.
Go.
Listen, here's the thing, man. Danbury hockey. All right. Listen, I said this, man, the other day to someone. It's a privilege to play professional hockey. It's not a right. It's a privilege, but it's an honor to play in Danbury because of the legacy.
The fans are so cool too.
Dude, I believe, look, if I'm a young guy coming up or I'm an older guy on the way out who still has some gas in the tank, or even some guy that just wants to say, screw it, I want to give it another go, even if it's for a handful of games, man. Danbury's got to be on the resume, okay?
Yeah.
The history, the mystique. Yes, this isn't 20 years ago, but Danbury hockey is another hockey town, and this is and we got to make it like that. It's an honor to be in Danbury.
You know Jeremy Yablonsky.
Oh yeah, big dog.
He played a couple games last season in the Coast.
Well, where's he signed with now?
He's still in really good shape. I got his number.
Jeremy, where are you, man? We need Jeremy. Listen, I'm willing. All you big boys out there, all the old school tough guys, we're on your side no matter what. Anyone, as long as you could safely play, I would never put in a guy in position to, I would never force anyone to fight. You come play.
I don't gotta get him a fight in Yabo. That's for sure.
Let's get it. Listen, we may have to sweeten the pot with some Trasher jerseys. Okay, listen, being in Danbury is where you gotta be. Okay, and we're gonna help get you to that next level. I mean, rubbing shoulders with Ames, with the podcast, with all the stuff we do. And, I was talking to a couple, current hat trick players, and, I said to them, listen, guys, I know it's not comfortable sometimes doing interviews or social media stuff, but that is how you're going to get the sponsors. That's how you're going to get up there. I'm not saying you guys got to be in a clown suit skating around like a jerk off. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you got to have it. And I think these past 15 years in pro boxing, which are continuing, like all the promotional aspect, I know we can do it, man. And, man, it's gonna let's create a dynasty in Danbury.
Yeah,
you
exciting.
guys, like, you play one game in Danbury, you're part of the evil empire. You're part of this family, and I'm excited, man. I'm like jacked up and ready to go, man. I'm excited, man.
So when I retire, you think the league's gonna let me on the bench or what?
Well, listen, I mean, here's the reality, and we'll talk off.
What is this lifetime ban anyway?
Yeah, I mean,
as a player.
Listen. Here's the deal, man. I mean, listen. I got so many ideas in a good way, but good ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Good ideas. Not like I got a lot of good ideas, man, and I think it's gonna help the league. I really do. I think. Yeah. Listen, in life, it doesn't matter what business. It's monkey see, monkey do. And I really believe, again, this isn't about me. I think I'm just another ingredient here that can help spice things up a little in a good way. And I think it's going to be good, man. If things have to be marketed a certain way, man, but I'm excited, man. I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up for the fans. We're going to make things a lot of fun. I've already been getting some pretty wild recommendations and ideas from fans. I can't say we can do a lot of those, but listen, this is
Bring the horns back. We need to rally for the horns back. We need to get those horns back.
Listen.
That was so fun.
The Danbury Hat Tricks are a team for the people. So any ideas, man, as crazy as it, send them to me. Maybe they work, maybe they won't. I don't have the final say. I don't own the team, but we'll make it happen, man. I mean, how about like I'm going to segue here. How about a rock night, like a mosh pit night?
A metal night.
Now, you told me very vaguely, because you said you want to talk about this, because what's this story you told me about a heavy metal, a mosh pit or something? Why am I not surprised with you?
Oh, man. Well, I was actually at Playland with the family, and I was just, chill night, not much going on, just taking the kids out. And one of my buddies calls me and says, hey, Ames, I got an extra ticket to Marilyn Manson 5-Finger Death Punch, and I'm thinking, and honestly, I was so tired. Like I was in the sun all day. I'm like, it's probably like 6 o'clock at night. The show's starting like right now, and I was already in Vancouver. So then, Sayers hits me up, 5-Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson, let's go. And I'm like, I'm humming and hawing about it. And you know how Jamie is? Jamie's like, well, you got to go. You got to go. I'm like, what, really? Yeah, you got to go. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Hold on, I really don't mean to interrupt you. We got to shout out Jamie. Jamie is, I can't even tell you how much I love Jamie. I mean,
she's the best.
You talk about, Pete, guys like us need the right woman, okay? Yes. And we both got it, thank God. And Jamie is just the best. I just have to put it out there, man. Shout out to my girl.
She is she's one of a kind, and I couldn't have found a better woman. She's great. She's very supportive. I mean, she follows me all around the world. So so basically she was like, you gotta go. Come on, you gotta go. And she kind of talked me into going, which I don't think many people's wives are talking them into going to a metal concert and having a night, So anyways, so next thing you know, she drops me off. Her and the kids drop me off, and I'm meeting my friends already at the show, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'm showing up late. They sent me the ticket, and I roll in by myself, and I gotta these guys grab a couple beer on my way down, go meet them down there, have a couple beer. Marilyn Manson's on stage, and actually the last time Marilyn Manson was in Vancouver, he was terrible. Like he got booed off stage, like he must have been partying and stuff, like really, really bad. So I think he knew he needed to make it up to Vancouver, because when I got there, he was full of energy. Like I wasn't expecting much from him. He's got to be partied out. Like how long has he been doing this for? I didn't really expect a ton from him. And I get there and he is blowing the roof off Rogers Arena. And I'm like, the place is going nuts. And I'm not a huge Marilyn Manson fan, but like it doesn't matter if you're a Marilyn Manson fan or not. A lot of those songs, you kind of forget that it's him. You're like, oh man, this is Marilyn Manson? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So then I start getting after it, rock. I'm like, all right. And then 5-Finger Death Punch is coming on now. And I don't even really know who they are. Like, I've heard their stuff. I know who they are, but like, I've never just put on Five Finger Death Punch before. Like, it's just not really like what I would listen to. And then they come on and the place is rocking, and this is like heavy rock. And then all of a sudden the lead singer basically calls everybody down. Like, we're on the floor. We're right behind we got seats, but we're right behind like the open floor, the open seating, right in front of the stage. He calls everybody down to the stage. He's like, we're going to get a mosh pit going. And I'm not even kidding. Everybody rushes the stage, just pushes security right out of the way, knocks all the fences over, and like thousands of people just roll up onto the stage. And so me and a couple of my buddies are like, hey, let's go. Like, we're like, making sure our pockets are like, got all our stuff in our pockets. Like, or everybody's giving the stuff to the people who aren't coming because we're going to get in this mosh pit. And we're just having the time of our lives at this point. I'm like, I got my hat off and my hair's all over the place. I'm like, let's go. So we get down there and we get in the mosh pit, and now we're moshing. Like, I don't even know if I've been in a mosh pit. Like, definitely haven't been in a mosh pit like this before. But there was nobody small in this mosh pit. It was just monsters. And everybody's just like shouldering each other. And it was really respectful. Like, someone's hat would come off, another person would grab it and just mosh with it in their hand until the person's found it. And like, anybody would get knocked down, two guys would grab them and drag them out like right away. Like, nobody was really throwing punches. At one point there was a fist fight, but it ended up chilling out pretty quick. But it was pretty crazy. We're just like shouldering each other. It was a blast, right? And then it started to get pretty heated, and I'm like, okay, I need to calm down a little bit here. So I go back to like the seats because I'm like, I was getting too fired up. I'm like, this is great. So I go back to my seat and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden a couple more heavy songs come on, and my buddy looks at me. He's like, hey, take my phone and my wallet, hold my phone and my wallet. He's like, I'm going in. And I'm like, I'm not holding your phone or your wallet. I'm coming with you. And I pass it to my other buddy beside me, back to the mosh pit. Well, this time the security's got all the fences up. So we just have to go heavy metal style, jump the fence, roll right into the mosh pit. And then we're just going, we're moshing. And I swear, at one point I look over and these big guys are just laying people out, right? And at this point, I'm sweating through my shirt, okay?
Oh,
like, I'm
my
obviously
God.
training for my fight, like training for my season or whatever. I'm sweating through my shirt. Like, you're basically body checking people, and you're like trying not to slip and fall. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is actually sick training right now. Like, I'm actually training for hockey right now. So now I'm just laying guys out. Now I'm just rolling around, shouldering guys, like going for all the biggest guys, because these guys were like going hard. So finally I'm like, man, these guys are laying everybody out. I'm going to lay them out. So I come in, I start dropping everybody with my shoulder, just boom, 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 one after another. Then all of a sudden I look around, there's nobody in the mosh pit. I'm just in it by myself. I'm like, let's go. And I look up to the lead singer and I flex like this. And he's like, yeah, let's go. He's like, these guys are crazy. And then some guy right beside me goes, Diamond Hands? He goes, Diamond Hands? Is that you? He's like, are you supposed to be playing some lacrosse right now or something? And I'm like, I'm just laughing and we're dying. And then a guy comes up beside me and he's looking at me. He's like, yeah, that was awesome. And he's like, you want to go up? And I'm like, what does that mean, go up? And he puts his hands out like this, right? Like, somebody boosts you. And I'm like, go up? And I'm like crowds. He's like, yeah, go up. And I'm like, all right, let's go. So these people now pick me up and throw me into the crowd. And the lead singer's staring at me like, let's go, like calling me out. I crowd surf all the way to the front. I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm a kid. I'm like a teenager right now. It's the best night of my life. Crowd surf all the way to the front stage. They throw me off like right onto the stage. These guys grab me. The security all grabs me. And then I run around, jump the fence, back into the mosh pit. I get in there. I look at my buddies like, how did you get back here so quick? But I had a blast. So from now on, I'm never going to any concerts unless it's a metal concert or it's got to be heavy rock. Every other concert's useless, man. If you're going to a concert, go to Korn, go to Metallica, go to some sort of heavy metal concert. Get in the mosh pit. You'll have the time of your life.
That story right there is really why I love you. Because the fact that you stopped and said, this is good hockey training for me.
Seriously. Because I'm thinking, like, in my mind, like, when my buddies first called me to come, I'm like, okay, like, they're going to be drinking pretty heavily. Like, I'm training. Like, I don't need to be drinking, okay? And then I'm like, and then so by the time I'm in the mosh pit and I'm sweating through my shirt, I'm like, man, this is guilt-free right now. I'm guilt-free. I'm sweating out all these beers. I'm having the time of my life. And I'm literally working on, like, being strong in the corners. I didn't go down one time. I was slipping and sliding all over the place, but I was staying strong, keeping my body, my knees bent, staying low. laying out these monsters left, right,
Bro,
and center. It was a blast, man.
that
Gotta
is
go to
wh-
a metal concert.
Shout out. That's one of the fun. I mean, I am just never surprised with you. And that is just one of the funniest things. When you told me you had a good story for me, I thought this was from when you were younger. I didn't realize
this was weeks ago, dude. It was the best. I love it. I've been listening to Five Finger Death Punch now. Like, honestly, shout out to Five Finger Death Punch. Great show. Yeah, I'm a metalhead now, so watch out. Let's go. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. So after this show, I'm like, hey, when's the next concert I can go to? So now I'm looking up concerts in Kansas City. Korn on October 16th. I haven't looked at my hockey schedule yet, but if I'm not playing, I'll be at Korn in Kansas City. Hopefully they got like Rage Against the Machine or something.
Dude.
And I'm going to be in the mosh pit, hopefully not getting hurt because it'll be hockey season.
Listen, Kansas City, you know who you may have to bring with you to that show if you guys aren't playing is your fellow Bash brother. Shout out to Josh Thrower.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll run the mosh pit.
Listen.
For sure.
So as you guys know on the Danbury Trashers Instagram page, I'm always reviewing fights, bloopers, funny stuff from all over, hockey or not. Dude, by the way, next week I'm reviewing a funny basketball fight someone sent me. But I remember the fight, arguably one of the fights of the year in minor league hockey last year was Josh Thrower against, I forget the kid's first name, against a guy named Bent. But Josh Thrower, man. Kelly Bent, excuse me. Yeah. Man, when I saw KC sign Josh Thrower, I'm thinking, my God, I cannot wait to get to watch the Mavericks this year.
Yes.
Diamond Hands and Josh Thrower, and I've spoken to Josh a few times. Man, oh my God. Kansas City. Again, the formula, they went to the finals last year, okay? And they got the skill. Now they got the grit. Diamond Hands, Josh Thrower. Man, Mavs country is going to be insane. I honestly can't wait. I told you I'm going to try to get there in October.
Something in the water. I'm telling you, something in the water out in BC. It's the West Coast boys, man.
I'm telling you.
Josh Thrower's from my neck of the woods. I think he's from North Vancouver.
Listen, Josh Thrower is a dog combined with you. I mean, he told me, he's like, man, I can't believe. He's like, I'm so excited to play with Amesy.
I messaged him right away. I was like, as soon as I seen that, I'm like, no way. And then the in the back of your head, you're like, wait, did they trade me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but they got it. We got an extra roster spot this year, so it's great, right? Like, we got 4 full lines.
Listen,
I think Thrower might be a D-man too, so it's even better to have a guy up front and a guy up back. So.
It is so perfect because, again, it's just like with the Trashers. We had Wingfield, we had Morassi together, we had other guys, obviously. The depth chart was crazy, but it takes the pressure off just one guy. I try to tell teams you cannot just have one, quote, main enforcer because now it's going to give you freedom to do some other stuff. I mean, Winger always talks about, man, when we had Rumenender and Morassi, he didn't feel the burden of just being the one guy. You know what I mean? And you and Josh Thrower, both in the top 5 as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's crazy.
Especially now, the other thing too is especially now because they have that rule where you're only supposed to have 10 fights or whatever. So it's like, it's nice because it kind of takes the weight off of like, hey, at least one of us can go. Like, it doesn't have to be the same guy every time.
Man.
I hate that 10 fight rule. I know me and you have talked about it in the past because it kind of puts guys in situations where you might as well just cross-check someone in the face because you're getting, you know what I mean? You don't want to use a fight. So it's like, it sucks because it's going to make people play a little bit dirtier, but yeah, it is what it is. So it's kind of nice having someone else that can kind of help out. So
listen, I am so excited. I cannot wait to get to Kansas City. Not because there's a big-time Italian population out there with a lot of food, the barbecue, but see my boy Amesy, Josh Thrower. Coach, what's Coach's name? Tad, right? Coach Tad out there?
Had, yeah.
Tado had, what a name, by the way. Tado had my type of coach, okay? I mean, Tado had, they're smart. They know what they're building there.
I'm pretty sure I told you about it when I was in Danbury last year before I went to Fort Wayne at the beginning of the season. I'm pretty sure it was right when I got suspended. I talked to Tad.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
Remember? And it just didn't work out at that point yet. We were like, we still had tons of stuff going on, rough and rowdy and stuff like that. So it didn't work out yet. And then by the time that all the suspension and stuff happened, obviously Fort Wayne had called, and it just worked out that way. But so I already had like a little previous, like a little bit of a, you know, some contact with Tad in the past, and from talking to him, I always knew, I was like, Tad's like my kind of coach. Like I really liked, you know, his style, and I just liked, you know, his character and just who he was. So I was like, I seen myself at some point wanting to play for him, and it just, you know, obviously worked out perfect. And having throwers is a huge addition, and obviously our team is pretty stacked. And I mean, the Kraken's whole organization pretty dialed. Like obviously Coachella went to the finals last year too.
They're on the come up. That whole you could see it bubbling from the outside looking in. I don't want to sound biased because you're there now in that organization, but you could see though from the top down it's starting to bubble. So I mean, you talk about right place, right time. Shout out to our boy Big Josh Thrower. And listen, I got to give you talk about Western Canada, the tough guys, right? Shout out to our boy Brad Wingfield, okay? Coastal Tsunami, his team in his hometown, Gibson's, right? I think Gibson's BC. They're, as of recording, they're
gotta go, AJ. You gotta go there, man.
I got to.
Beautiful place. It's a beautiful place.
I promised him I would get out there at some point, and
if it's not during the season, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, man. Well, we have to, man. That's your neck of the woods, and you gotta show me around it. But yeah, shout out to Winger, the Coastal Tsunami. As of recording, they're 2-0. Winger's the coach and GM. I'm so proud of him, and I know this weekend they're at home, so. Dude, their jerseys are sick.
That's the league that I played in, eh?
Yeah. We need those jerseys, by the way. I'm a jersey guy now, so we need those jerseys. Those jerseys are sick. Whoever designed them. You know, kind of a sad note, I got to give a shout out to, you know, former Trasher, Stephen Peat, you know, big-time NHL enforcer who unfortunately passed away. Man, that one stung, man. I mean, It's so sad when you hear these things and people passing away way too early. And I remember first year of the Trashers, NHL lockout season, trying to go after everyone. I remember Stephen Peat, you know, he was a big-time enforcer in the NHL at that time and, you know, with the Capitals, and he gave us a shot. Came to Danbury, played a handful of games with us. What a gentleman, man. Gentle giant. So rest in peace to PD, man. I know Winger.
The Goudreau brothers too.
Oh
Super
my
sad.
God!
It was like right around the same time, you know.
You know, it comes
such
in
a sad story.
It's just crazy, man. You just hate to see it. Shout out to all the families. It's just it's horrible. And I know Winger was close to PD, and it was tough, man. It's tough when you see that stuff. So gotta just, you know, live every day, man. And man, shout out, rest in peace, PD, the Goudreau brothers. I mean, just tragic, man. But listen, I got to give a shout out, man. You know, also, literally the same day as the press conference with the hat tricks, with my involvement, you know, the coaching staff and everything, a new arena football team coming to the arena next year, man. Next summer.
Danbury?
Remember, we talked about this.
Nice.
Big shout out to the it's called the Entertainment Football League, it's called. So it's a new arena football league, okay? They're starting out in the Northeast. It's going to be the summer of 2025.
So they play in the summer?
Yeah, remember we talked about getting you a tryout,
yeah,
maybe?
I was just going to say I want to play. So.
Listen, the Danbury Diesel, okay?
Nice, I like
That's
it.
the name. I love the name. Got to give out shout one of the founders of the league, Tommy. They had a press conference actually at the rail yard. You ever been, when you were in Danbury, you remember where the Big Uncle Sam is, the rail yard? So they had it's cool. They had a little press conference there. They're going to be doing a lot of big things. Shout out to the Danbury Diesel. That's going to be a lot of fun. Have a weird feeling Ames is going to end up playing linebacker or something.
I told you, like, my whole, like, since I was a kid, I've always just been, it's on my bucket list to play one full contact football game, full gear. I just want to piece someone up as hard as I can. I
have a pretty good suspicion we could probably make that happen next summer. And shout out to the Danbury Diesel. Couple more congrats, man. Shout out to our family, man. Our boys, Joey Merlino, Joe Snuff Perry. They just celebrated 1 year of their podcast.
Nice.
Okay. Remember, we kind of started a little after them. We actually had to take some pauses throughout, but shout out to them, man. Those are my guys.
Snuff's been cracking me up lately with his posts with his wife.
Oh,
my God, dude. Snuff, he kills me, man.
Snuff is, you know, talk about our type of guy, man. He is just, he's just my guy, man. And Joey, obviously, and, you know, going to get them to some hat trick games now. Imagine miking Snuff up for a hat trick game. You know what I mean? That'd be fun. So shout out to those guys. Continued success. They're doing such huge things. Listen, another friend of the show, man. Scrap City's own Ali Feliz. Future of heavyweight boxing, man. If you guys didn't check his interview with Talking Trash.
He's getting after it, hey?
Bro.
It's just nonstop.
September 27th, Madison Square Garden, man. He's going for 4-0.
Top Rank does not mess around, eh?
Nah, man. He's on the fast track. The only thing that's gonna stop Ali is Ali. If he wants to stop, he'll stop. But that kid, before coming here, I was at the gym. He's training like a dog. Madison Square Garden. We may be doing a ticket giveaway with him. We talked about it earlier. So Madison Square Garden, come check out the future of heavyweight boxing. Ali Feliz, Scrap City's own, and a couple more things, man. September 28th, at the Danbury Arena. All right, the Bruins alumni team is coming. I think I think it's the girl. I feel bad. I should have reread it, but I think it's the girl, the junior hat trick, the AAA team with the girls. They're doing I think Zach's playing. It's like a Danbury coach alumni against a Boston Bruin alumni at the Danbury Arena.
Nice.
September 28th. I wish I had more specifics. We don't prep too hard here, but I'll put the details in the description. Make sure you guys come out. I think I'm going to get some content with them out there. Definitely support this. Like we said, man, this Danbury hockey culture is growing, and maybe we'll start calling them the Trash Tricks, bro. What
the Trash Tricks? Do you remember that logo that Dowler made?
Yeah.
Remember I showed you that one? It was like
I do remember.
I think I'm pretty sure Ron Rodgell and all of them got some made or something like that with that logo on it.
Well, listen, Scrappy, the Trasher mascot Scrappy, no one really knew what was inside that trash can. It was just eyes. I mean, maybe it was a hat, maybe it was a bunny this whole time. Who knows? A rabbit.
Shit.
Who knows, man? So, but big shout out. And listen, I mean, I did it on purpose, man. My boy, Herm's son, Big Max, boy Max, created, bro, he made these baseball jerseys.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gave me the 17. Listen, I don't know where Max's journey's taking him. He's a teenager, man. But that kid's going places. Max, big shout out to my boy Max Sorcher. He's my advisor with trading cards, okay? He's been putting me on to so much stuff. I've had to take a break with the card collecting, man. It's becoming I'm becoming a little bit of a fiend here, and I'm running out of space in the condo. Kim's getting pissed. Dom's running through it anyway. It's all for him. But big shout out to my boy Max for the jersey. And, man, here we are, Amesy. I mean, it's just... it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. It's so good to see. I know you'll be getting to Kansas City soon. Again, big shout out to Side 3 Studios in Denver. I mean, you're still going to be out there. Maybe we'll record again.
Probably another at least week and a half.
Yeah, so we'll probably end up doing something with them again. If you guys are in the Denver area, make sure you shout. Go see Side 3 Studios, man. They're on it. My boy Lucien over there, the engineer, the whole squad. We it's funny because when we were trying to figure out where you're going to be today, we both found the same guy.
Yeah,
so
because you sent me the number. I was like, I literally have that. I have the page open as you sent it. Yeah, but I got to give a shout out to Blade Tech. They just sent me another one of their blackout sticks.
Nice.
And obviously you've seen the steel that they gave me for my skates, the gold steels and stuff. I'll have to get some more this year for this upcoming season, maybe with some Mavericks logos on them. But yeah, I got a nice new stick. I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So shout out to Blade Tech. Appreciate the guys over there always.
Listen, man, they really. Man, I wish all this stuff was going on when I was playing because they got so much great stuff, Blade Tech, and man, it's. Here we are, man. I mean, I guess should we have a advisory meeting after this because you are my co-advisor with this. Yeah. So, but listen, guys, all jokes aside, man, if you're a hockey player, I don't care when's the last time you played. I don't care. We want to help you get to where you gotta go. We just want to build a dynasty here, and dynasty it takes a village and. Listen, man, we want the best, man, and the best doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have 50 goals a year. We just we got something cooking here, man. So if we need some retired vets, some nice retired vets that Listen, we need leaders, we need grit, we need character guys that understand, just like you, man. Like it's gonna be very hard to. You're a one-on-one, so there's no comparing, but. Man, you know, I was really thinking.
There's guys out there. Trust me.
Oh, listen, man, I don't know, man. I shouldn't probably show these cards here, but man, you know, one of the first person that came to my mind is Bosch Filthy. Big Braden.
Dude, if we can somehow leverage to get Bosher down, Bosher can play too. He's not like
dude. No.
Bosher can play.
I was thinking of Bosch Filthy the other day.
Dude, if we could get Boschman down, and he's a character off the ice too. Like the fans would love him. He's
man, character guy. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun, and listen,
and
man.
Not to mention, he's an absolute killer.
Dude, he is a bad boy. That is a bad boy right there. Yeah. That is a tough out for any enforcer. But listen, man, let's see where this rocket's going, man. And I wouldn't want anyone else with me but you, man. And I'm excited. You've been a huge inspiration. Guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole nine. We got things just turned up a notch for everything. So we are going to have some fun here, man. And looking forward to seeing you guys. See you guys next time.